Okay.
Lights, dollars, and cents. An alarming new trend. More Americans are tapping into their 401ks for emergencies. A new report finds some Americans are treating these retirement plans more like a rainy day fund. A Sacramento-based financial coach I talked with warns this could cause more harm than good. Is it generally frowned upon to withdraw early from your 401k?
Generally speaking, it is.
A recent report by the Wall Street Journal finds a record number of 401k holders took early withdrawals last year, with more than a third citing foreclosure or eviction as the reason for tapping into those funds.
First, we got to think about where we're at. So this is coming out of Sacramento, California, and we got to understand that the economy in California is a little bit different than the economy in New York, a little different than one in Louisiana or Wisconsin or wherever that you're from. But taking out of your 401k and treating it like a savings account or something like that, or a rainy day fund, is not what that is. Retirement is its own event. It's not an additional account that you can have. We encourage you to create an emergency fund, which is a rainy day fund, right? To put money to side in a savings account, 3, 6, 9 months of living expenses. So when there is an emergency, or you're behind on your mortgage, there's something that you can pull from, or you have resources and assets to cash, and not necessarily your 401k. The reason people reach for the 401k so quickly is because it typically has one of the highest balances that you have. Now, you're probably thinking, Mr. Ridgeway, listen, you have a lot of conflicting kind of information. First, you're saying that many Americans are the price of retirement is in the millions. I don't have that. Then you're saying that the average American only is saving up to 200,000. I think the report that said only has like 200,000 in their 401k, and that some people 50 and over don't even have anything in their 401k. And now you're telling me that the 401k probably has their biggest balances. Okay, let me reconcile these ideas together. One, the cost of living differs by state. So just because your basic needs, what's basic? What does that mean? People have different living expenses, right? So living in Hawaii and living in Oklahoma are two different states. So they're going to have different living expenses of what we consider basic to live. That's one. Two, what are we talking about? Are we talking about groceries, gas, transportation, XYZ? What are we actually entailing? That's going to vary person to person, because everyone doesn't need the same amount, or they don't need the same type of basic, quote unquote, basic needs. That's another one. Two, many Americans are underfunding their 401k. So that means that they don't necessarily have enough to retire or to meet those quote unquote basic needs of those studies. And then also people who don't have 401ks, is a large majority of Americans don't even have, and I think it said 20%. So there's still 80% of people who have something. Now, pair this with the idea or the fact that the average American is about $100,000 in debt, including their home. So having something in your savings, like your 401k, where it's matching pre-tax dollars, may be your highest account. You don't have a savings. Your checking is very low. Your retirement may be the only positive thing you may have in your life right now. So that's how you kind of reconcile those conversations. And people are getting kicked out of their homes, so they go reach for wherever money they have it, and most likely it's in those dollars that were supposed to be reserved for the retirement. Okay, so hopefully that cleared it up. If it didn't, don't be.
I think we're seeing it mainly because we're still dealing with the effects of inflation over the past several years. And now the current economic environment also includes a lot of uncertainty.
Whatever your reason, financial advisor and coach Maureen Paley recommends crunching the numbers first and looking at the math very closely.
Make sure that the cash that you eventually get after the penalties and taxes are going to be what you actually need.
Paley says withdrawing 401k funds early means withdrawing before the age of 59 and a half.
Run the math and make sure you're actually getting what you want. There's a couple things. One, when you cash out, typically the company, the employer is going to withhold 20% of that holding. Let's do easy numbers like $100. They're going to withhold 20%, so you're only going to get 80. There's going to be a 10% penalty. So that means that $10 should be going to your penalty. That is not included by the withholding. So now you're down to $70 of the $100 that you have. Then you're going to, based on your taxes, you got to pay the remainder. So let's say you're in a, 25% tax bracket. You may have a few more dollars that you're going to have to get out. So you may only get $65 or $62. Is that enough for whatever that you pulled it out for. You needed 100, but your net's only going to be 62. So either you don't pay the taxes, which the withholding is going to do it, or you mess up the penalty. So now you're going to have penalty and fees if you don't pay your taxes on it. So that's pretty much how the math works. And you say, hey, is this going to be enough when you take it out? That's what you need to know, because you may just make the withdrawal and you get into your account like this still ain't enough.